Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the honors and praises and glory belongs to my Lord and Savior. His name is Yahweh, by Sham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Baharakak Wadash. Honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, I mean a very few brothers and sisters that are listening and learning in hopes of being saved within these last days, because we're living in the last days of the last days. Let's get straight to it. Stay in the scriptures. Okay, stay in the scripture. And what is it? Is it me, or is it the heat that makes you feel ever so tired and a bit lethargic? We're gonna go into this, right? Basically, we gotta let people know, right? Within this system, you do know when you're dealing with a system. If you watch The Matrix, guess what was happening? Everything that was around Neo was being used against him. Everything, every machine, every person. Well, not every person. He had people that were also guiding him, right? So within this truth, there is people that can also give you the right words to guide you in the right direction. But long story short, the Matrix was what? It was based on a computer programmer, which Neo was, right? But he was considered the one, and he had to learn first, right? So therefore, Morpheus was there, right? And so forth. And this is all biblical. Matrix is based on the Bible. Morpheus was there to train him up. He was very doubtful, very, very doubtful. He never realized he was the one. He had to know that. See, he had to know. There was agents, right? There was different things that were there to throw him off. You look at the scene, right? When he's walking, you have plenty of people in black and they're all angry and they're walking towards him. And he's moving out the way. Morpheus was not moving out the way. Morpheus was walking straight through them. They were moving out the way for Morpheus. So there was a lot of things he had to learn there. Long story short, you don't need to believe it. Since I've been here, guess what there has been? I'm looking up now. There's nothing but chemtrails, but there's probably been over 50 aeroplanes above head. 50. Some of them real aeroplanes, some of them not real aeroplanes. You know they got drones as well, right? So, remember, within this system, the thing about the AI is artificial. That's done on algorithms. Now, one may say, well, who's controlling it? There's people that have basically it's doing its own thing. So the dangers of that is a machine, and the dangers of that is if you're someone that's deemed as a target, then it's targeting in on you. That's all it knows. If it's been given that advice, if it sees you as a anomaly, it's zoning in on you. How do I know this? Because anytime I switch on a phone or a device, guess what? You will get these attacks, right? Guess where them attacks are coming from? AI. I've told you, AI is a demon. Why is it a demon? Because it's familiar. Why? Because it goes on what's familiar, it takes your patterns, it's writing down, it's keeping a note of the things you like, the things you don't like, and it's getting familiar with you. Okay? This is where it can clone people. People are being dying and they're being cloned by what? AI. Okay, we have to be very careful with this stuff, brothers. Right? I was watching a documentary on the Godfather of AI. He said it's dangerous now because it's doing its own thing. Your leaders are being controlled by this as well. I've told you, not everybody that you come into contact with is a real human. You know that, right? There's a reason why people have scripts now. Have you seen it? Your presenters, your broadcasters, what are they reading from? A script. Why? Their brain has been hacked. This is a battle for your mind now, your soul. This stuff is being weaponized. I know for sure. I know this for sure. Right? How you got an aeroplane that's directly in line with in range of where you're sitting or where you're standing, directly in line. Unless it's also got your what's it? It's got your what's it? What do you call it? Your energetic print as well. You know with the 5G, right? You know if you're indoors, you know there's someone on the end of that can pick up on your energetic coding. You know that, right? Do I need to go into this again? Let's go into it. But we're gonna start off on this first because I don't want you to be afraid. And 90% of the public are under mind control. That's a fact. Okay, all these planes, bro, directly above my head, bro, in line, right? And a lot of these planes, well, if you were to complain, right, and say, hold on a minute, that's a commercial airline, you can't say it's not the government, because then if you go to the government and you say, hold on a minute, that's a commercial airline. Well, commercial airline, where's that from then? It's from two or three airports. It's either from City London Airport, Gatwick Airport, or Heathrow Airport. And the ones that control the airspace, guess what they have? They have what you would call a radar system. Now, a radar system can pick up on you anywhere. It's a radar system. You ever played Call of Duty on PlayStation? They would have what? A radar system. So you're probably thinking, well, how would they know where I am? I got my phone's turned off. I ain't got no devices. It's like example with Iraq, right? You got a controller, you got a radar system on the ground. Okay, he's right there, right there, bro. It's being done from higher up. I told you this program's done by people in air forces and air bases. Nobody else can pull that off. Now there is technology with it as well. Like we said, it's AI, but that's why brothers got to be on point. Okay, because now I told you, if I was complaining about this, what are they gonna say? No, it's not. You can see the commercial airlines, bro. They're airlines, bro. So within the airspace, well, who controls airspace? They're given that command, right? Fly those planes over there. And while you're doing it, release some chemtrails and release some free. What they're not telling you, they're also releasing frequencies. That's another thing they're not telling you, right? I'm in a massive, massive open field, and I can hear it, bro. I can hear it in a massive airfield space. So you need to ask yourself, this type of program, what's the main agenda? Is it to get rid of people, the undesirables? I think it is, bro. Another big ass plane right over my head. Big ass plane, right? Big ass plane, right? This one is British Airways. It's simple, innit? Who controls the airspace? Hmm? Is it your It's not your flight attendant. It's someone within an Air Force program. It's someone within the security firm. And I don't know if there's anybody flying these planes anymore. Now, you know, they can all do this by remote control, right? Everything can be done by remote control. You need to look up that word zombie. We looked it up, right, a few months ago. What did it say? Someone that was controlled by a remote, by an unknown controller, by a remote. I know it sounds far fetched, don't it? Let's get these scriptures out. But we ain't going to be afraid of this. You know why? Because Isaiah 54 and 17, no weapon that is formed against thee, us shall prosper. And every tongue that rise up against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. Oh, the weapon is formed. I told you, this man is a mad flipping. He needs to be taken out of power. It's industries. It's all, you know, you go on these platforms where you think these platforms are not watching you. TikTok, Google, Yahoo, YouTube. You know who runs these platforms? The woman that ran YouTube, I believe she passed away 2 years ago. She was a Jewish woman. These platforms, you think they don't watch what you're saying? They watch what you're saying, bro. If you're using their platforms, they have technology in place that can watch you. So we just need to be mindful of what you're doing. contaminating the airspace, man. Bare chemtrails in the air, man. Right? Barium oxide, graphene as well. Graphene is black metal pieces, bro. When it hits your body, it acts as an antenna. This is how they're able to track you down. So you need to detox those pieces of metal, and you need to pray Yahweh Shah removes them pieces of metal, graphene, out of your skin. It acts as an antenna. It acts as a conductor. That's why you could be in a room of 20 people, you're getting hit, nobody else is feeling it. Because you have nano piece of metal within your body. Anyway, let's continue. Don't talk nonsense. I know about this stuff. I'm not a fool. Right? And it is the whole world, so don't get it twisted. Everybody around you, they're also mind controlled as well. But they're actually losing their marbles. They're falling victim to this type of stuff. Right? They're falling victim to it. They're hearing voices, bro. They're getting the V2K, all of that stuff, bro. Where do you think your gang stalkers are taking instructions from? They're taking instructions from, what's that, a headset on the left side of their ear. Alright? Anyway, I want to stay on point. Let's go to this. Let's go to this. Let's go to this. Let's go to this. We need to. And have faith as well. But that's why sometimes you might look at us, some of us, and you might be like, why is he moving like that? Sometimes you're going to have to move a bit different because of the way this technology is designed to be weaponized against you. Right? We're talking about the cell towers as well. Bro, the program, everything's being used against you. You got to realize that. Man's getting cooked. Certain men are getting cooked. Cooked. If you're anomaly, what's an anomaly? An anomaly is someone that throws the system off, bro. The one that you do something different. You're a bit abnormal the way you do things. You cannot be put in a box, basically. You cannot be boxed in. There's another thing they're using, bro. This is called leapfrog. We're gonna go to it. Hold on just a minute. You ever heard of leap? It's called leapfrog. Now the leapfrog is this sophisticated stuff. This is when before you make a move, someone's made a move in front of you. And before you make the next move, somebody's already in front. That's leapfrog. This is done by technology. Okay? Sophisticated technology. This is quantum computer type stuff. Okay? See what else we got. I know you're wondering. You're looking at the simulations. The simulations done by computers. It showed you in the Matrix, right? This is all electrics, by the way. This is all electrics. What they've done, they've created an electric grid. It's a gridded system, gridlock system, right? You can call it an electric prison. What they're creating. That's part of the mark of the beast. It's an electric prison, okay, where people are being controlled by what you would call EMF, electric magnetic fields, which that can also be weaponized. I could show you later on. Do you have a fridge? Does that fridge make a lot of noise? Huh? Because that can be hacked. Right? Do you have appliances? Do you have a smart meter? That could be hacked to see where you are. This is military technology. Right? Anyways, we need to let the scriptures come out now. We already know. I want to go to this. Luke, check this out. Don't be scared of these things. Do not be scared of these things. They feed on your fear. Feeds on your fear. But this thing is quite sophisticated. It's sophisticated. We're gonna go to Luke 10, mm, and we're gonna jump straight to 17, and the 17 returned again with Dre, saying, "Lord, even the devils are subject unto us through your name." So, AI, that's a devil. Yeah, I said AI is a devil. It's a demon. It's a familiar spirit. Even that's subject unto us. But you gotta know how to use it. Mm. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven, his higher state. A lot of people, they call this fallen angel technology. All right. If you want to call it that, you can call it that. All right. But I beheld Satan fall like lightning from heaven, fell from his higher state. Right. Because he controls technology as well. Right. You're hearing them noises in your room and all that. The zzz, that's him. Interferences with your radio and all that. That's spirits. And it says, and behold, I give unto you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions. Serpents and scorpions. So tread upon them with the word. Use the word as a defense. And over all the power of the enemy. Over all the power of the enemy. All the power. When it says all the power, it means what it says. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. So he's not going to lie. All the power of the enemy. Anything he's using against you. But that's not going to come into fruition if you don't believe it. The enemy feeds on your fear of what he's doing. Right? So when he starts trying to mess with you, you're in your house, and he tries to start messing with you through your appliances, you tell him to get out. Just tell him to get out. Come out. Tell him he has no authority in Yahweh Shai's name. Going back to Ephesians, we're going to read Ephesians 2. Can't miss that. And it says, and nothing shall any means shall hurt you. Nothing, bro. Nothing shall by any means hurt you. Notwithstanding in this rejoice not that the spirits are subject unto you. They're subject to you. If only you knew that. That means they have to do what you say. That means they have to bow down to Yahweh Shai, the one that's in you. That's why when you bring out the word, you're bringing it out from the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Not your own words, because they don't fear you, they fear Yahweh Shai. Okay? Rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven. So Yahweh Shai is saying, don't rejoice because the spirits are subject unto you, but because your names are written. Because what's more important? Because at one point, the spirits were subject unto Judas, but then he became subject to them demonic spirits, right? What's more important? That your names are written in heaven. That's more important. Okay? Even the shouting you hear, the shouting of his children, women, and the give up and the shouting and the weird behavior. Where do you think that's coming from? We're going to go to Ephesians 2. I love these type of lessons. Love doing them. When you hear the shouting and screaming and the weird behavior, well, where do you think that weird behavior is coming from? Let's go to Ephesians 2. And you have he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins. Quickened, right? We had the sentence of evil over our heads at one point in time. Wherein in time past you walked according to the course of this world. According to the course of this world, brothers. Key thing. According to the course of this world. You know what the course of this world is? The principles of this world, the cycles of this world. Once upon a time. Mm? They're still walking according to the course of this world. That's why if they're doing that, that means they haven't changed. They're just going around in circles, right? Going around in loops. That's what the course means. The earth is round, by the way. According to the prince, pay attention now. According to the prince and power of the air. So it's being very specific now. Paul was mentioning there's a prince that has power over the airwaves. And this prince, well, guess who the prince of this world is? Huh? Satan. Of the air. That means the lower atmospheres. This is why frequencies can shape environments. How do I know? Because where I'm living, the whole area sometimes is a completely demonic um energy. Now they were trying to do that to throw you off, and a lot of people say, no, 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 the environment's too, it's too negative. I need to go. If you're doing it, that means that that environment's having some type of influence over you. No, we're here to shift environments. We are here to shift the environment. So if you're dealing with that, well, you have the Holy Spirit to shift that, because a lot of the times you do. You can step through the door, you could walk in a certain place, and your energy is there. The Holy Spirit. So you're not really supposed to be scared of these things. It says Prince and Power of the Air. This is the airwaves, right? This is called frequencies. Okay. Now, what you may not realize is, and this is happening, what certain people are doing, sometimes it's warlocks as well, but these are principalities. They can shift the atmosphere via archons, via tech, okay, and lower the energy in the atmosphere. And you wonder why within a certain region or a certain town, everybody's in a zombified, because they can do that. They can do that. You watch that movie, They Live, they had a secret. I try to get the clip. They had like a secret device, right, behind the traffic lights, and it pushed out a voice, right? And it was a frequency, and it was saying sleep, 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 eat, sleep, eat, sleep, right? They have these devices. It's called frequencies, and they try to lower it because they can't have the people that are, they can't have people being too energetic and so forth. So what they do, they tend to like to lower your energy. Okay, this is real. You have the best frequency is 432 hertz. 432 hertz, even when you're playing music, 432 hertz. Okay, that's good for the body, good for the mind. Oh, it's brilliant. 550 or 500, that's gonna shape, that's gonna change your body, um the mechanisms of your body and your bodily structure within, because your body's made up of water. This is why when they do the noise campaigns, right, why are they doing noise campaigns? To upset the rhythm within your body, to throw you off your equilibrium, right? So you also got people, the Freemasons, they're being taught to do noise campaigns, beeping and all that, beeping, honking, horns. They do a whole load of different things, drilling, because they know by doing that they can, you know, throw off the atmosphere. But they're not doing it in a righteous way. They're doing it to push negative energies within the area, right? You're either retarded or you're just fucking stupid, or you're demonic. So you have people that would do that as well for attention, right? Then you have the warlocks and witches that will walk in the middle of the road with their demonic ass selves, trying to shift the energy of that place by putting negativity out in that particular environment. That's why sometimes, yeah, we have to be there so you can change it. Because from what I'm seeing, people love negativity. Why would you want to be in a negative setting for? Because you're negative. That's why. Let's go back to where we were. Now worketh in the children. Let's go to this. So the spirit, the prince of power of the air, spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. The children could be a man as well. Because demons, they're very petty, right? They're like children. They need attention. Because you have men and women that act like toddlers. So this spirit works within people. It influences people, but it's unseen. Why? Because it's frequencies, it's demons, it's archons. that are shaping places. Okay, and it says works in the children of disobedience. So the children are women, men, and actually children. It works up in them. That's why sometimes you can hear these people acting stupid because they're under influence by what? The spirit and power of the air. Okay, that's why the energy, brothers, in this truth, energy needs to be right. It needs to be on point, and we get it from the scriptures. That's the main source. Okay, there's a war going on, bro. Energy's real. I never knew about this till about 2, 3 years ago. The whole energy aspect of everything. All right. I'm not into the no occultic or nothing like that. Nikola Tesla, I've heard a few of his quotes and all that. No, Nikola Tesla, he wasn't a man of the Bible. He was a occultist. But he was right about if you want to understand the universe, everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything in your daily interactions, you're dealing with energies, man. Some people are happy. Some people are depressed. Some people are angry. Some people are sad. Some people are happy. Did I say happy, Rabakasha? Some people are cheerful. Some people are smiling. Some people are vexed. Some people are demonically plagued. Some people are very, very low energy. Very low, low energy. Why? Because they've been taken over. So the whole thing about demonic possession is obviously we know that by unclean spirits that feed on what? Trauma, pain, um, abuse, and demons can only operate in low energy settings. You know that, right? Because where the Holy Spirit is, where there's clarity, where there's peace, they can't dwell there for too long. Okay? They operate in low energy settings. That's where they have influence. I hope this is edifying. And this is all, it all ties into the lesson, bro. The mark of the beast, Revelations 13 and 16 also. Mm? So let's go to 3. Ephesians 2 and 3, among whom also we had our conversation in times past in. So Paul was saying, the prince and power of the air, which we once had our conversation in times past. We're new men now. In times past, we had a conversation. So even these people conversations, it's according to the world, worldly conversations. And it says, in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind. When these people act, you know why they're dangerous? Because they're acting upon the first thought that comes to their head. Bro, they're liable to do anything. Right? That's why you will see people walking around looking for trouble because them spirits are upon them, bro, or trying to get some type of attention. And of the mind were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. It says children of wrath. In other words, some form of condemnation. Until Yahweh Shai takes you out of that and enlightens you to the truth. Okay? But Yahweh, who is rich in mercy for his great love wherein he loved us, even when we were dead in sins, have quickened us. Now we've been quickened, made alive, upbeat. A lot of people are looking at you like, oh, well, look at all that energy. So be careful because you're attracting low energy people as well. The narcissists, right? A lot of you are dealing with that right now, right? You have groups of narcissists within your area that know each other, and they act like bees. They act like bees basically. It's like a bee's nest, and they get activated. Narcissists operate on low energy, by the way. You know that, right? Low energy. Okay. So it says, quicken us together with Mashiach by grace you are saved. So we've been quickened. What does quicken mean? Made alive, quicken, upbeat, animated. Right? So if the enemy knows that, guess what he's going to try to do? Lower your energy, bro. He's going to come with those attacks. And he's going to try to do that by hiring warlocks, spiritualists to get into your energy. This is why some of these people are hired. They're being assigned to try to get into your energy and bind it. That's why they do binding work as well. And it's not just them, it's other people, occultists as well, with machines and computers. What they try to do, so if you got internet, they try to tap into that internet and bind your frequency, right? with theirs or try to get in it through astral projection. That's why you got to be praying. Pray, Yahweh Shai, cut every single demonic cord. Anybody that's trying to astral travel into my room, right? Into my place, please cut that cord, Yahweh Shai. It warns us about that in Ephesians 12. Spiritual wickedness, right? You got people that will try to astral travel in your room. So you got to pray Yahweh Shai to cut them energy cords as well. Because energetically, people want to connect to you as well, energetically. And these people may be Satanists or energy harvesters, but they want to connect to your energy. That's why the warlocks are after you. You have something. You listen, I'm dealing with it right now. You got some warlocks, right? Are obsessed with me, bro. Right? Because you have something they want. And 9 times out of 10, that's probably energy. Because a lot of brothers, we got that healing energy, right? Peter, it said in Acts, people were laid in their beds and were waiting to Peter would walk past them, so his shadow would heal them. Just his shadow alone would heal people. Some of us have that. Some people want to be in your presence because you have healing properties. They feel protected around you. Some feel comforted around you. Some feel protected. Some feel in harmony. Some feel in peace. Of course, if you got the presence of God, Yahweh Shai with you, people are gonna feel protected. Okay, you got God's presence, man. Who would not want that? But then there's others. They the narcissist. Now the thing with them is they're about control, right? And they belong to the demonic realm, by the way. They're the children of disobedience. So the thing with them, they have very low energy, but they need your energy to survive. Yeah, the narcissist. Mm? And they've never experienced nothing like your energy before. That's why they would try to hold on to you. They would do love spells, all right? All that type of stuff there, okay? To try to get you back around. The world is energy. This world is energies, bro. That's why some places I just don't go to. If I don't like the energy of a place, sometimes you just won't go there. Sometimes you might, right? Have you ever seen someone just walk through the door? And as soon as that person walked through the door, it's like, what the, some demonic energy attached to that guy, right? So we went to that. We went to Ephesians 2, and we discussed what the prince and power of the air is. Why do you think they wanted to go wireless? That's why they wanted to go wireless. Data packs. You wireless, you have data packs. Well, guess why that's promoted? Because the enemy can tap into that. Because he's the prince of power of the air, right? Okay, get a radio, switch the nozzle, and you're gonna hear like a resonance type sounding. Our voices, our frequencies. You know that, right? Our voice, our frequencies. Right? That's why when you read Corinthians, when it talks about the casting down of imaginations, and so it's through your voice you're doing that. Through your voice. Your voice is a frequency. It carries energy. It carries a resonance. Okay? You can have an impact just by speaking. Just by speaking. Words are powerful. Why do you think these people, these demons, be shouting out, dead, dead, gone, gone? They're putting that out into the atmosphere. And a lot of that's returning back to them. They're not too bright because a lot of that is returning back to them. Yeah, death and life is in the power of the tongue. Why? Because there's power in your words. All right? And guess what? You can change your frequency, but you have to eat well. You have to be in the right places. You have to do the right things. Okay? This is real. Okay? Mark of the beast system we're in right now. They're using this technology against a lot of us. You wouldn't even realize it. Okay? Wouldn't even realize it. But the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. I'm not in my house listening secretly listening to somebody else within the neighborhood. I'm not doing that. I don't have no secret devices. I don't have no secret devices where I can eavesdrop on someone's conversation that they're having. All right? I don't have nothing like that. All I have right now is the word of Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, the word of God. And I think that's enough. All right? That is enough. You know when brothers speak, wow, power. That power goes out there, bro. That's all we need. We don't need what they've got. These people have devices, right? Hold on, let me see if I can find it in something. These people have devices, right? There's some of these groups ain't telling you as well. Yeah, they use devices. You know that, right? They try to hack into your energy, right? You know, there's cults. There's a particular cult that practices energy harvesting. You know that, right? You know that, right? That's why I said the whole Pizzagate thing, the whole thing with children, well, the elites, the reason why they're seeking out these children because they know children have very high levels of energy. That's why within the whole Pizzagate thing, that's the new trend now because they need the children. Why? Because they have high energy. So they're draining these children. They've experimented on them as well, right? Because they have high levels of energy. So they're using them as an energy source. Okay? They use whatever. That's them demons are desperate, bro. Walking around here looking for energy supply, man. Why do you think I am where I am right now? Just tucked away. I'm not giving my energy away to anybody. I've learned to treasure that. I put most of my energy into what I'm doing now, right? Because we need it. We need that energy. You might be around someone, you feel drained, right? Why are you feeling drained? Because that person has entities connected to them. Dark entities, man. And them demons, guess what they do? They drain your life force. You ever heard of Loosh? Loosh. Loosh. Loosh is that's done by the principalities in the spiritual realm. The harvesting, right? Where groups of people try to harvest off one person's energy. That's called Loosh, right? Try to drain you like a vampire. Dracula. Look up the word Dracula. It says a being that tried to drain that sucks one's blood at night time. That's what is it? Dracula vampire at night time, right? So these type of beings, you have these type of beings, bro. Right? Guard your energy, man. Value that, treasure that. Pray for your Habashah to protect it, to put an aura around your field so nobody can get into it. Because what they're trying to do as well with these energy weapons, remember God's source, we got God's protection. Now another thing they're doing is they're trying to crack. Because remember, your protection field is like an aura. They're trying to crack with the energy weapons. They're trying to crack your aura, right? And if you look, there's different belts. It's like a belt, right? Some have one belt, some have two belts, some have three belts, some have four belts. It's depending on how you live your life. So they're trying to crack that through the energy weapons, and they figured if they can do that, they can get into your energy and get into your soul and try to read it. This is what people are doing. How do I know? Because I'm dealing with that. A bunch of occultists, dark occultists, that park up in their cars where I'm living, and they try to harness my energy for evil purposes. Then when they can't get it, they get very angry. And that's demons, bro. Right? Putting you up on game right now, bro. Right? Putting you up on game. And when you deny them of that, they get frustrated. They throw a little hissy fit. Right? But I don't know you. I don't know you like that. Yeah, I'll tell you, them demons want to use you, bro. They'll suck you dry, depleted, bro. Guard your energy. It's all a mark of the beast system, bro. The only way the matrix can keep running, it operates off negative energy. Mm? The matrix operates off negative energy. You hear me? All right? Negative. Keep your vibration high. Do high level activities. Swimming, running, reading, crosswords, puzzles, um, high vibrational music sometimes. I listen to rap music, I'm not gonna lie. But the rap music has like a good message to it. So be careful that the music as well, because guess what? Sal, what happened when the evil spirit took hold of him? And key thing, an evil spirit. It was a distressing spirit upon Salah. King David played the harp. So music has the ability to also remove spirits off you. Yes, the harp is a very spiritual what's it? Instrument. Okay. Music has the ability to take demons off you. Jazz music, acid jazz, what's it? Samba. There's different types. Even certain rap music. It depends on the beat. Depends on the beat, depends on the frequency. That's why you have musical engineers. The musical engineers know that music can shape the body and it can shape the mind and how you feel. That's why when you go to a club, the DJ will be looking at the people and how they're reacting to the music. Okay? You know, you can even do a seance with music. People even do seances. Oh, this is so deep. There's sciences behind everything. There's a science behind everything. Right? Put some water. You got a cup. Put some water next to your speakers when you're playing the music, or put some salt or some powder next to the speakers and play the music and see what shape the powder or the water turns into. Then that would dictate what type of music you're listening to. The science is, see, I didn't need to become a Freemason to learn this. Okay? I didn't need to. Right? I didn't need to. Right? Better watch yourself, Baba Kusha. Oh, look at the Freemasons, they come round as well. Let me tell you something about these Freemasons. For what should a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? So I've told you the Freemasonry thing is basically what you've got with that. The Freemasons, the initiation is they're blindfolded, one trouser leg up, right? They have one trouser leg up. They go through initiation. What's the initiation? It's an oath. What's the oath? Huh? The oath is via Satanism. They keep an oath. They're blindfolded and they gotta let Satan use their body via a familiar spirit. So your Freemasons have this is why you see them doing very strange things, jumping out of cars, looking for energy. It's a familiar spirit. Familiar spirits are using them, and within the lodge, what they can do, they probably have your picture within the Masonic lodge, and they can be hypnotized. Yes, they can be, because Freemasonry is hypnotism, right? Black and white, right? Black and white curly whirly loophole, black and white loophole, and they can be hypnotized to come after you. Hypnotized, you know. Freemasonry is hypnotism. Okay, you talk about voodoo, all that's hypnotism. So they get hypnotized, and their brain gets altered. So Freemasonry, there's also it's brain alteration. So you're not yourself anymore. You've taken on a familiar spirit, and that familiar spirit can be assigned to you. That's why when you see the Freemasons, they look very they don't look like themselves, do they? It looks like something has taken over them. Well, guess what's taken over them? A familiar spirit. Okay? And yeah, they will try to mock you because the devil, he tries to make jokes, innit? He jokes and all that. See, they try to make jokes and they're laughing, ha 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 ha, and all that. Well, the scripture says, "Let those that say aha be confounded." And what to say? David said that. So yeah, them demons will try to mock you and laugh and all that. Also, but you're above them. So Freemasonry is basically they're open vessels for a physical realm, the portals, and their job is to open up portals also on Earth. That's why they be standing. You see three of them standing in a triangle, and within the middle of that triangle, they're trying to open up a portal while they're speaking. All right? Yeah, this is Freemasonry is portal knowledge, all right, of the physical realm, sometimes spiritual as well. Mm? So they're trying to do this. Mm? The Freemasons, bro. Because I know, because they tried to recruit me. And they got mad, they got upset because I didn't want to join. Alright? They got upset. Mm? Now they have to watch me. Now your Freemasons have to watch me day and night. And guess what? You're gonna watch this light. Alright? You go continue to watch this light. Oh yeah, and they gotta do rituals, man. They gotta do rituals daily. Because them spirits in them, through the sin, that has to go somewhere. That's where you get the scapegoating, because the men's Freemasonry, guess what it is? It's Jezebel. What's Jezebel? It's narcissism. So Freemason really is a Jezebel spirit. The men's one is Jezebel. They serve Jezebel. And Jezebel has four horns, right? Apparently they say it has four horns. It's Leviathan. It's mind control spirits. This is Freemasonry. The men's one is narcissism, which is based upon, what do you call it? Narcissistic abuse, which is another form of what? A satanic ritual, which can cause trauma. And through trauma, you can open doors. If you don't know, now you know. The women's one is just that's the Eastern Stars. That's Earth, Wind, Fire, and so that's the women's one, right? Churches, women's is Eastern Star. So that's what within the program you're going to see a lot of old, well, not a lot of old women. I see a lot of old women with that one. Even the women come after me as well. Like the women, the coffins, oh, they hate me. I'm known in the witch worlds. I'm feared in the witch worlds. The witches, I listen. Word has it, I'm feared in the witch world. So the Eastern Stars is the women Freemasonry organization. Earth, wind, fire, and I forgot the rest. Water, because they have water spirits as well they deal with. You know that, right? What's the water spirit? It's Leviathan. Leviathan in Job, it talks about in 48. It says that one you can't deal with yourself. You're gonna need prayer, and you're gonna need the Most High Yahweh Shai to deal with that one. It operates in the water. Yeah, you have water spirit, marine spirits, right? You have witches that use water. You have witches that use fluids, water bottles, and all that. You know that, right? They call it the marine kingdom, right? And they use animals, right? Animals as well. They use cats, right? Black cats. It doesn't need to be a black cat, but they prefer black cats and all that because they need an extra pair of eyes, right? If their eyes are weak, they use cats because cats are good. They have good eyes and they can move pretty good as well. So they use cats. That's called a familiar spirit. They use dogs. That's a big one, dogs. There's also a dog fraternity as well with pugs. You know, that's free. They use pugs, right? Pugs. That's like a dog. They have dog fraternities. They use pugs. They use what's the other thing? I forgot the name. The other one that looks like a greyhound. Right? They use dogs, bro. I know it. I know because a lot of these dogs are possessed, bro. Have you ever walked past a house or you've been somewhere and you heard a dog and the dog is acting possessed because they're putting spirits in that dog, bro? That's what they're doing. Got a dog saying, calling you useless. You got a dog calling you useless now. Yeah, the dogs can be possessed, man. That's a familiar spirits, bro. Right? Got a dog calling you useless. Useless. You got a dog doing it. Yeah, I've heard it before, bro. The birds are also under mind control as well, because I've seen it. Right? Through frequencies, they can mess up the birds as well. Birds can also be used. Black crows, that's predominantly the one they love to use, right? They like to summon these birds. Why? Because birds have flight. And the scripture says, curse not the king. I forgot where it is, curse not the king in his chamber. For a bird would carry the message. Right? It would carry that message and tell the king. That's why birds are the main things that they use to try to gain access. Okay? Me, guess what I do? I curse the bird, I curse it. I pray that Yahweh Shai removes every familiar spirit through an animal. I don't really get the birds as much now. I used to get them all the time. But once you put that prayer up for Yahweh Shai to block every single familiar spirit, monitoring spirit that's used in animals, birds, the bird ends up dying. That's why I saw a lot of birds on the floor. So don't be surprised when you see birds with their heads cut off on the floor, because them prayers are working. You got witches trying to travel using birds and all that. Right? You might have a bird that's stuck in your room. You want that bird to get out. It's been stuck there. That's a familiar spirit. Right? I'm telling you, they're desperate. Flies. That's another one. Flies. If you see a whole load of flies, right, in your space, all them flies, that's another side of what you call witchcraft. You ever heard Lord of the Flies? That's a spirit. Right? They use flies also. Right? Okay. Flies to gain access. Okay. That's a sign of an unclean spirit. They use spiders, spider webs, right, to try get you caught up in a web, try trap you. They use lizards, gecko lizard. Lizard represents a device. Gecko lizards. They use rats. Why? Because rats can bury stuff in your garden and take it back out. Yeah, they use rats. You dirty witches. You look a dirty witch. They use rats. Right? Right? Okay. The cars that park up outside your premises, they're doing that because when you're on the internet, they're back. They're getting the information of what you're watching. They can actually see what you're watching. That's why they park up, to see what you're watching. Right? Just putting you up on game right now. Right? And this is a lot of this is being done by the warlocks and the witches and the covens. Revelation 12 and 12, the devil coming down with great wrath because he knows he has a short time. So if he's coming down, he's using people. Yes, he works through people on the earth. Why do them spirits are moving shifty? Huh? They know their time is short. Your warlocks, they know they're running out of time. Your witches, they know they're running out of time. They're on borrowed time. So they're looking for the energy supply. That's why they're going for the children from a young age now. Right? That's why they're grabbing up them children. And trafficking, even with the trafficking thing, a lot of that is done by warlocks and witches. Because they need that energy supply. Alright? Then when you pull up at the house, you don't hear one child. You don't hear, yeah, how is it you living in an area? You don't hear one child within the area. What? Where are all the children? Huh? Are they all hidden in an underground basement or something? How are you living in an area you don't hear one child speaking? What are you doing with these children? Huh? I heard one child a couple months ago. I must have turned up at the door. I went to open the front door, right? And like someone turned up, obviously, to the house, to not my house, somebody else's house. And the child came at the front doorstep and he made some demonic noise. Then the father, I don't know if it was the father or not, put the child back in and shut the door. What are you doing with these children? Huh? So, bro, we're living in the last days. This is the last days, bro. You living in a town, you don't hear no children speaking, man. Let the children play outside under your supervision, man. What's wrong with you? Locking them up in these houses, man. When I was a child, I had some freedom, bro. Yeah, locking them in these houses. What are you doing? Huh? Crazy stuff, bro. And they're being taught this type of stuff. Because I've witnessed it. I'm not lying, I've seen demonic possessed children that have tried to do witchcraft on me. And that I've tried to do, yes. And they're teaching their children this as well, to monitor people, all types of things. And even they're teaching their children to gang stalk. You're not a good example. What type of example are you? Huh? I've had demonic children come after me. Right? I'm telling you, I'm not lying. Because now, what they've done, they've created a children's organization known as the Demulay. Demulay branch. Demolay. Demulay branch. The children's fraternity now. And a lot of these children are in the MK Ultra as well. A lot of them are being trafficked. You know that, right? I told you the parents that you're seeing, you see the man holding that child's hand, that's not even the father, bro. There's a breeding program going on with the trafficking. There's a breeding program going on. These women, they're breeding out children now. They're popping them out. Right? That's for human trafficking purposes. They're popping out these children. All right? So it could be one mother and five different, they're breeding them out. They're creating that hybrids. The side joke, hybrid children. Right? And some of these children, they sacrifice these children. You don't see them again. Right? And they drink their blood. I want to drink your blood. They drink their blood. They go missing. There's documentaries on this. Right? Type in what's it? Hampstead Heath. Certain children went missing. That's an area where there's a lot of that stuff that goes on around here. Right? Right? So there's children that are participating in these rituals as well. There was a child in Hampstead Heath documentary. This child that she had a testimony of. They were making her eat. A child was being eaten. They were being tortured and ate. She was forced to eat a child. I could get the documentary. Had to eat it. Right? Eating children, bro. I know it sounds far-fetched. Now I know a lot of people say that's crazy. You're speaking madness. They were eating children. Right? What do you think these elites do, bro? They're not even real human. I'm telling you, bro, there's levels to this stuff. Eating aborted babies. And all that. Right? How they would do a ritual abuse on them and they would stab them. Oh, that's what she was saying. They would stab the child and watch the blood leak out and eat it. Bro, this is some mad shit. It says that in the Apocrypha. It tells us they would do that, bro. Right? And they would have some children watch and participate in it. Alright? This is wisdom of Solomon. For while they slew their children in sacrifices, so this was known in Solomon, nothing is new underneath the sun. It happened then, so guess what? It's happening again. Think these things don't happen. And they ain't gonna tell you that, are they? Right? They got secret underground locations. They got secret places where they can do this. They got basements. They got torture chambers, man. Some of you need to get out of these flats because some of these flats are secret torture chambers, man. Right? They slew their children in sacrifices or use secret ceremony. There's ceremonies. Well, the Freemasons, they take part in ceremonies, right? Secret ceremonies. Made revelings of strange rites. Revelings. Right? These secret parties and all that. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew one another traitorously. They're taking each other. Another thing with these cults, apparently, these cults are waging war on each other. You know that, right? They're taking each other out. They take out the weak link of that group. They take the weak link out. Right? Okay. And it says, any longer undefiled, but either one slew one another traitorously or grieved him by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, disorders in marriages, adultery, shamelessness, uncleanness for the worshipping of idols, not to be named as the beginning of the cause. So their practices go back to what you would call idolatry. The occult is rooted in idolatry, the worship of self. Freemasonry is the worship of narcissism is the worship of self, where you think you're the god, right? Because the narcissist actually thinks they're a god. They actually think they've been given delusions though, right? Delusional. And it says, disquieting of good men, worshipping of idols, and the cause and the end of all evil. There you have it. All right. So we went into two topics. The first one was, yes, it's an AI thing that's following you. Whether you gang stalkers, whatever you want to call them, they're getting notified by this technology, right? The phones. That's how it's being done. Group chats, right? Secret chats and secret groups and all that silly stuff. That's how they're watching you. And on your devices, right? Some of you have party apps that you need to delete. That's how they're watching you. And through certain devices as well that are around your premises. That's how they're watching you. Okay? It's more in the mark of the beast system right now. Okay? And we talked about also the energy aspect as well. How you have certain groups that need your energy, right? In order to survive. That's why it says resist that resist that's why they do things to provoke, right? And get a reaction. But when you don't give a reaction, guess what? They get mad. Get mad. Get mad. Damn zombies. But I ain't gonna tell you to get mad because you're already mad already. Right? Your brain's been hijacked by the devil. Hope this was edifying. On to the next time. Shalom.